So can you introduce yourself to me?
Okay. Jeremy Pilachowski. I'm a captain in the Marine Corps, obviously.
And how do you spell your last name?
It's Pilachowski, Pilachowski.
All right. And how old are you?
I'm 29. Gonna be 30 next month.
Awesome. And your hometown?
I claim Chicago. I was actually born in Hammond, Indiana, but kind of lived in Northwest Indiana, Illinois my whole life. So.
All right. And what's your billet and unit?
I'm an 0302 by trade, but I'm actually currently serving as the aide to Major General Bailey, CG of the 1st Marine Division. So I belong to Headquarters Company, but Headquarters Battalion, but I'm a member of the 1st Marine Division.
Okay, and what is 0302?
Infantry officer.
All right. And how long have you been in the Marine Corps?
I've been in the Marine Corps for approximately 4.5 years now. Going on, it'll be 5 years in May.
All right. And where did you graduate high school?
I graduated high school from Thornton Fractional South, which is in Illinois, Lansing, Illinois specifically.
Okay. Where did you go to? Where'd you go to college?
I went to Olivet Nazarene University. It's a small private Christian college on the south side of Chicago. So.
Awesome. And that's where you, right after college, you commissioned?
Correct. Yeah, commissioned from there, May 3rd, 2008 to be exact. So.
Okay. And when did you start playing hockey?
I started playing hockey when I was probably about 2 years old. As soon as I could more or less walk, my dad put me on skates. I didn't start playing competitively, though, in an organized fashion, an organized league, until 8th grade.
Okay. And played in college?
I did actually. I played for a short time, essentially just training camp over the summer. I was accepted to Robert Morris College, which is also in Chicago. I made their D2 team, but before the season started, I made the decision to change schools.
So since you've been in the Marine Corps, have you skated a lot? Did you just find teams to play in, or?
Well, when I first got in, throughout the basic school and IOC, Infantry Officers course, when I was in Quantico, I didn't get to skate much just due to the time schedule, so I probably took almost a solid year off. But then once I checked into my unit out here in California, I found a rink right away and started skating right away, and then got involved with men's league teams out here right away. So I did have kind of a short interruption in my career, if you will, but.
Okay. Now, what's your position on the Patriots hockey team, on and off the ice?
On the ice, I'll typically play center. If I'm not doing so well in faceoffs, I'll go ahead and relinquish that, and then go ahead and play wing, but typically forward, so center or wing. Off the ice, I serve as one of the captains, one of the alternate captains. I kind of act as head of players, player management, so I'm responsible for helping to coordinate amongst the players for practices, events, things of that sort, and then really handle just kind of any of the miscellaneous tasks that come up. Whether it be helping to coordinate our website, or just meeting with Marv and helping to make a decision, come to a decision, and maybe bring some insight and give him another opinion on something. So.
Awesome. So how'd you hear about the team?
I actually played men's league hockey with one of the other founders, Jeremy Lemons, and we went and played just some pickup hockey together one morning, and he said, "Hey man, he said, we'd really like to have you come play for this other team that we're starting." And I think this was literally probably a week after the team was conceived. I was maybe like the 4th or 5th player to join, I suppose, but I heard from him, and then started meeting the guys along the way, obviously, and I've been with the team ever since. So.
Do you know, when was that roughly, a month, and what year?
I think it was maybe October of 2011, so a little over a year and a half ago. Does that sound about right, Marv?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Cool. So, after you joined the team, I don't know if you're like me and first you just wanted to play hockey and then heard of all the extracurriculars the team does afterwards. Once you figured out or found out about all of that, what were your initial thoughts?
I thought it was a great idea. I thought what they were trying to do was awesome, and that I wanted to help in any way that I could. And obviously, the opportunity to play hockey is a strong pull as well. So.
Outstanding. So can you tell me a little bit? I know, Marv, these are the same questions I asked you, but like you said, you have a different Not maybe a different take, but just a different way of saying it. What's the mission? What's the mission of Patriots Hockey?
Like our slogan is pay it forward for those who, play it forward for those who go forward. Really we just want to make sure that some of our brothers and sisters that have deployed and come back, not whole, whether that's physically or maybe even mentally, that they're taken care of and that they're recognized in some fashion. And also just to kind of continue that awareness. These things kind of, it seems like a tension on the military can kind of wane and go into a lull. But these are injuries in a lot of cases that these guys will never fully recover from. So, I think it's good to help keep that awareness level up that, hey, there's still plenty of individuals that are coming back hurt, and or if they're already back that aren't ever going to fully recover and will need some help. Whether it's monetarily or just even psychologically, just seeing us kind of stand behind them, saying, hey, we're here to do whatever we can. So. Okay.
What specifically does the team do? Like, how do we get in there and assist these guys?
Well, as we're not a nonprofit, we have to raise money for other organizations. And so we use other organizations, other great organizations like Wounded Warrior Project, for example. We know the reputation that they have, and so we decided to raise money to help support them in any way that they can, knowing that that's going to like we said, our fellow service members. Also, as I mentioned, it's also about the awareness piece. It's not just about a dollar amount. It's also just about that awareness and making people aware of some of these soldiers, sailors, Marines that are coming back, that are hurt, and also these organizations that do these things for them. And maybe these people, maybe they can't volunteer their money, but can't donate their money, but maybe they can volunteer their time or something. And so just exposing them to that, I think, is also a good thing.
Awesome. Why is it important for the players who are active duty or retired or former Marine sailors, soldiers, why is it important to them to actually think about stuff aside from playing hockey? Like, why should they care about taking care of those people when this is a hockey team?
Well, one of the reasons why I joined the Marine Corps and why anybody that's considering joining, I do stress the Marine Corps over any other services, is because of that brotherhood, that fraternity that is the Marine Corps. And knowing that when I was in Afghanistan, that my Marines or the guys to the left and right of me would do whatever they could to make sure that I was safe. That kind of that undying devotion to one another is what I think drives a lot of us to make sure that we're taking care of those that are still serving or have come back and are maybe no longer serving but still need that help. We always want to make sure that we always want to feel like we're doing something. And so for those of us that aren't deployed, maybe eats away at us a little bit that, hey, we feel like that we're not contributing sometimes, even though we are, but that we're not directly contributing. And so I think that this is kind of a good outlet for that energy.
What's a typical attitude on the team about what the team does aside from skating and winning games? What's a typical attitude about all of this?
A lot of the guys are very gung ho, and they want to do whatever they can, and they're happy to they're happy to help and support in any way that they can. I know they're all about it, and I know that's why, as I said, the bulk of the team, I know that's why they devote their time and their money and their energy to thankfully playing a game that we all love, of course, but then, to help out in other ways, whether it's helping to create a flyer for the game or just going out and selling tickets for a game to raise money, whatever the case may be. I know that most of them are behind it, 110%. So.
Outstanding. How does the team measure success? Like, I know on the ice, like Marv said, success is if we win or play well. But what do you think is successful as far as the mission goes?
It's easy to define success, to kind of quantify success in a dollar amount and say, hey, we raised $1,500. And I think a lot of times we get hung up on that number. I know I've been disappointed with the amount that, if we've only raised $1,500, I've been kind of disappointed with that. I've wanted to, I've set a goal in my head of, hey, let's try to raise $2,000 this time or $2,500. But then when we get to the facility, whether it's, the Ontario Reign facility or the Staples Center, and I get to interact with some of the fans that come up and ask us what we do and what it is that we're doing, and then what charity it is that we're supporting, and I get to take a few minutes to tell them about that particular charity, or maybe about that particular Marine or something like that that's there being recognized, kind of see their eyes open up a little bit, and they go, oh wow, I didn't know that, or I didn't know about that organization. So I think we also have to look at it as raising awareness. And that's something that I've been trying to stress. Hey, not only did we raise this much money, but we also, I think, raised a lot of awareness, and we're able to reach a lot of people who may not otherwise have known. So.
Outstanding. So, what do you call upon? You're one of the captains. What do you need from the players? What do you need them to do other than just play good hockey?
Yeah, play good hockey is one, and that just kind of ties in with being able to put on a good show for the fans who pay money to come and watch. But most importantly, we just need them to be devoted. We need them to be devoted to the cause, and just do what they say they're going to do. So then that way, Marv and I can continue on. Marv and Mark and myself and some of the other captains can continue on and do, start looking to branch outwards and set up future events and things like that. So,
it seems like after talking to Marv, since day one, I wouldn't want to call it. I would say it's been a challenge for you guys for everything you do, getting ice to practice, getting ice to play a game on, finding out ways to raise money by selling tickets, selling T-shirts, getting the word out there. That's tough, right? Am I right? Just doing that for every game.
It is. It's hockey's kind of a niche sport to begin with, and so especially here in Southern California, I think if we were maybe in Minnesota or somewhere on the East Coast, we'd probably have no problem. But it's kind of a niche sport, so it's hard to get people to buy into the idea, especially people that have never seen a game. But there's a lot involved. Yeah, it's certainly hard. Hockey is an expensive sport. Ice is not cheap. It costs a lot for the facilities to maintain and run that. Thankfully we've begun to establish a relationship with a few different rinks now, and so we may not have free ice, but we've certainly got it at a pretty deep discount. But we also ask a lot of the players. A lot of these guys are junior Marines that some of them have families, and to fork over $15-20 a week to come and skate, in addition to the drive time up and just some of the other added costs that go along with it, it can be an expense. And so we struggle with that sometimes, but thankfully through various efforts we try to help kind of subsidize ice and whatnot to keep costs down for some of those kinds of players that maybe can't afford it or we don't feel should have to pay full freight. As far as the, why am I drawing a blank on that second part of the question? I don't know why I'm fucking.
Just talking about the challenge of.
Thank you.
Fun.
Yeah. So as far as scheduling for opponents and stuff, it's a big concern. It's, there's always somebody willing to probably play us. It's just trying to get things to time out right. One of the biggest things with an organization like ours, I feel, is momentum. It's easy to kind of spike and have some awareness spike, but then things fade quickly. To be able to maintain some steady momentum is difficult, and that's something that like Marv and Mark and I are really trying to work towards is to set up a relatively consistent schedule, whether it's we play a game once a month or once every 5 weeks or whatever. But like I said, it's really about trying to maintain that momentum, and then also to simultaneously branch out. We have some opponents that we've played and have a relationship with, but we don't want to keep going to them. We want to try to branch out. We want to try to move further south into San Diego or possibly find a different service to play. So, trying to balance keeping that momentum with also trying to spread out our opponents and really diversify ourselves there is kind of difficult, yes.
So, with all that being said, what motivates you? What keeps you going? I mean, you play in another league, I'm sure.
I do.
But like, you're devoting a lot of time, and you're overcoming those obstacles that of finding a venue, finding a team to play. What motivates you to keep going and keep tackling that mission?
I've always tried to be involved in a charity of some way or another. Whether it was in college or in high school. And the great thing about what we do is that we get to play hockey. So that's the sport that I love more than anything else, with the exception of my wife. But to be able to do that, and I think because I've seen Marines that have been hurt. I personally know Marines that have been hurt. To be able to really see an impact that we could potentially have on their lives it's certainly not only rewarding, but it keeps me going, and makes me believe in what it is that we do. There's always going to be something going on overseas. The Marine Corps, the Navy, they're always going to be called to respond, and so unfortunately there's always going to be somebody coming back that might need a little help, and to be able to help is a gift in and of itself. So.
Outstanding. Just a couple personal questions. What is it about hockey that you like? Why do you play it?
There's like this interesting dichotomy to hockey, I think. It's both a very physical, gritty game, and yet there's also this like almost like beautiful finesse aspect to it. When you watch what some of these professional players and some of these some of the professional level skaters can do, it's pretty amazing. And it takes a unique athlete, and that's what I think I love. Everybody can go out and everybody can run and jump to a certain extent. Can they jump 40 inches like an NBA basketball player? Probably not. But everybody can do that skill at its most basic level, and I think that playing hockey is a challenge. It's still a challenge. I still challenge myself to continue to grow as a player, and I love that. I love, like I said, I love both that grittiness and I love that finesse as well, and of course the camaraderie. One thing that the Marine Corps or any military offers is just kind of this instant camaraderie. You automatically have so much in common with the guy next to you, the guy or the woman next to you. And hockey, it's kind of that same way. You go to a locker room, and you can go to a locker room, some random locker room in a random state to play pickup hockey, and you can automatically start having a conversation with the guy next to you. And I think that's pretty rare, especially among sports. So there's a lot that I love about it, but I'd probably say that those are my top reasons. So.
Outstanding. That's honestly that's all the questions I have for you right now. I'll have more questions for you and Marv on the ice if we have time on Sunday. Is there anything you'd like to add or include that we didn't talk about right now that you just want to add?
I know you skipped on the future, and I kind of.
Okay. Yeah. Answer for that. Yeah. What's in future for the what's in store for the future for the Patriots hockey team?
For the future, Marv and I have started tossing around a couple ideas. I know one of the things that like I talked about earlier, we definitely like to maintain that momentum, but we'd like to build towards a culminating event for the season. We're kind of an interesting entity in that we don't have an end of the season. We don't have a championship. We don't have a Stanley Cup specifically. And so we talked about a little bit about recently too about either participating in or potentially hosting a tournament. I think that could be a great way for us to expand as a team, as an organization, and also to possibly tie in a lot of the other services in the area. Not only government services in that, or federal services in that, like the Army or Navy, but maybe some of the municipal services like some of the fire departments and police departments around here, and kind of bring all of us in Southern California together. And and get to play a tournament and support each other in some way, shape, or form. Whether we decide to donate a portion to somebody's respective charities, or we all just pitch into one charity, or whatever it is that we do. But I think something like that, developing a culminating event for us would be a great thing.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, sir?
Why the hell did it take you this long to tell us you were PAO? No, for those of you that that maybe haven't seen a hockey game, please come check us out. We'd love to have you come watch a game. We're pretty good, and we're going to continue to get better. So if you haven't seen hockey, thanks to the NHL being on strike, you can come check us out, and hopefully we'd love to see you come back. So.